Okay. Testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn architecture is so easy, 2 women could do it.
Way to bring it together!
You did, Paul. You made it about feminism and architecture.
That was awesome, Paul!
I love
Boom!
that.
Those improv classes have been paying off, my friend.
Thank you.
That was really good. I like it.
Paul, you've been taking improv classes?
Oh, did you not know that?
Oh, he's
know
gone
that.
through the whole...
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
joking.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I'm just joking, having worked with Paul.
Yeah.
Seems to
That
have
was
gone
great, Paul.
To the Justin Robertson School of Improv.
Oh.
I love Justin Robertson.
Did you hear about what happened with Justin? Is that Jim Parsons, he did a drawing for the new Jim Parsons Broadway show.
Right.
And he posted, Jim Parsons did the drawing that Robertson did, and it got like 65,000 likes on Instagram. And
wow.
Yeah. So
there's no way that he's not going to make a fortune doing what he does because he's so fucking talented.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And he's got the right niche too. Yeah.
So that was exciting. I think that just happened this weekend.
That's awesome.
I will text him and congratulate him.
Yeah.
All right, editors. Here we go.
Cut out
editing note, you don't need to
said.
put that in. Ignore all that, editors. All right, and starting in 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones. Joining me in our headquarters in New York, Mr. Paul Packler. Paul, how are ya?
I'm good, but I'll tell you who's better. My mom. Because when she listens to these shows, she loves it when you call me Mr. Paul Packler. So, there you go.
I'm going to make sure I do that every show now, Mr. Paul Packler.
Fair enough. You'll have a friend for life.
And Mr. Corey Pepper, how are you?
My mother would love it, but she's got dementia, so she can't really understand anything these days.
So it doesn't matter either way. Okay.
Makes no difference.
You could call her Mr. Corey Pepper, and she would love that too.
And I just want to be technical. I'm at the headquarters in Los Angeles.
Yes, you're in our headquarters in Los Angeles.
At our East Coast branch.
Exactly.
West Coast branch.
Yeah. Paul, could you describe our New York headquarters just so the audience can get a feel for just how high-tech we are here at Quality Time?
Actually, I am in the Goldman Sachs building. And no, I'm actually, I hope you can't hear the fan blowing. Can you hear the fan at all?
No.
Okay. I ordered a new air conditioner. It hasn't arrived yet, so I just have the fan on me. But if you look, if you go on YouTube, I am so summered out. Look at me. I have green pants on, green jeans, and this shirt, and man, I am like Mike Love over here.
You are. Oh, don't get me started on Mike Love. I hate Mike
I'm
Love.
I'm gonna start lawsuits against both of you soon.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. And take the name Quality Time and inform you're going to get like 4 other people to be us.
Right.
That aren't as talented. Yeah.
And, but wait, Corey, what about your branch? What's going on?
Tell us about the LA branch.
It's always summer here in Los Angeles.
Right.
I hope you can't hear the fan going. I've got the fan above me. There we go.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
That's it. That's the Los Angeles branch.
Yeah. That's all you need to know. So we are well equipped here at Quality Time. All right. If you're playing along with us, we are on Season 1, Episode 19, Suzanne Takes You Down, in which we come back to our favorite couple, Ron and Suzanne. The best thing about this, guys, the return of Jay Tarsis.
Yes.
Why they made these 2 recurring characters, even for 2 episodes, is still beyond, and especially focusing on Suzanne and not Ron.
Yeah, the weaker of the 2. Yeah.
All I could think of was, who is she fucking? Who is Brooke Alderson fucking? It's got to be somebody.
I feel like it was probably a matter of like they were friends with Jay Tarsis, like Gary David Goldberg. So like their characters, that was the first time that we ever expanded the relationships, the adult relationships of Steven and Elise. So maybe they were trying to make them come back more often, but it would have been a mistake.
Which is a really good point that you're making. They expanded the adult relationships at the loss of Michael J. Fox in this episode. He is virtually maybe his smallest episode ever.
Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. Yeah. And the show starts off, the family is in the living room.
One quick thing. Suzanne Takes You Down is a lyric from the song Suzanne by Leonard Cohen.
Is that really where it's from?
Yes, and is what my wife is named for.
Really?
Hippie parents.
Your wife is named Leonard Cohen?
Because that's pretty awesome.
I've been calling her by her nickname, Susanna. So her parents took Suzanne and somehow or another turned it into Susanna for her, but she's literally named for the Leonard Cohen song, Suzanne.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. But Stephen and Lisa are coming back with Ron and Suzanne from a wedding. Again, there's these really strange, over-the-top jokes that Gary David Goldberg seems to like. They already are planning that the wedding that they went to, the couple was not going to last, and that the groom was already kind of walking away even at the start of the wedding. Mm-hmm. So again, it's already starting on this really heightened reality.
And also, the first thing that we find out is that Alex is putting and teaching the girls, Mallory and Jennifer. They're sitting on the couch watching Alex teach them to putt. And I feel like we're talking about with the story of what's happening at this fictional or offstage wedding and the golf. This is an episode where men just walk all over the female characters in this episode.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it does give us this great moment, Paul, and I'm sure you caught on to it. When Jay Tarsis walks in the room and sees Michael J. Fox teaching them how to putt, he walks over to them to give some coaching advice, and what does he say?
Shit. I thought I wrote it down. I forget. What is it?
I can't believe it was so close to Teen Wolf. He looks at Alex, he's like, you know something, don't take a sport too seriously.
Oh, yeah! Good point. Yes.
I was like, I was just waiting for him to give the same advice he did at Teen Wolf.
Mm-hmm. And when he is coaching Alex, and when he walks in and Jay Tarsis is just Jay Tarsising all over the place, Jay Tarsis and gum, he's always chewing gum. They're like Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Like the two, he and gum.
Always together.
Yeah.
And it works. It works so well for his character. I love it. And again, it's Jay Tarsis automatically wanting to jump in with Steven and have their weird competition. They're going to go out and hit some golf balls, and whoever loses has to pay a year worth of mortgage.
That seems like a lot.
It certainly does. And this whole golfing thing that they spend so much time setting up in the first scene, I don't think it ever really pans out.
No.
It's another instance of like a ton of B story ideas kind of popping up here, and no one agrees on what to make the B story.
And that's something that I've noticed almost consistently. I'm really curious in next season's shows if they figure out the A story, to have two real stories going instead of one story and one little tiny thing that's sort of kind of strung through the whole show that doesn't really pan out. It's sort of interesting. They've been successful without two storylines.
Yeah. I would say the next episode that we're about to talk about, which is episode 20, The Fifth Wheel, I feel like that is like light years. They have 3 storylines that all work, that they all meet up and they intersect, and that's amazing. So I don't know, it's so odd in this first season of Family Ties how much things either are like a 1.5 storyline, a 1 storyline, but never a 2.
No, and it's really curious because I don't think I've ever sat down and analyzed the first season of a show. I've watched first seasons of shows. I don't think I've ever analyzed it, and I'm just wondering if all shows go through, I hate to use a sitcom term, growing pains in their first season. You know, it seems like the writing staff is still trying to figure out how to do this.
I'm wondering if that's, today, because it's so easy for a show to get canceled really quickly. You have to be so much stronger out of the gate. So I think a lot of prep work with your writing team has to be done before you even go to a network and pitch an idea. So that you probably are gonna you probably have everything laid out a little bit better for your first season than these guys did. When you can okay, we can kind of fiddle around it. We got a full season. We can kind of
we can figure it out. We've got time.
Yeah.
And I barely know the inner workings of 80s NBC, but from what the little I've read about stuff, Brandon Tartikoff was really all about that sort of a thing of giving shows room to grow.
Absolutely.
And so he was a big proponent of shows just being left alone, so that way the artists and the writers can find their voice. So I think especially on NBC shows you'll probably see a lot of growth. Seinfeld is a great example. I would say the first two seasons of Seinfeld are not that great. You'll have one or two good episodes, but it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Did Family Ties premiere Thursday nights at 8:30 between Cosby and Cheers? Is that when it premiered?
No. From what I saw on Wikipedia, I don't have it in front of me or committed to memory, but it jumped around quite a bit. I feel like it was a Wednesday, then a Sunday, and then a Thursday. But I'm not sure.
So it eventually found its way to Thursday, because I was just wondering if it was protected in that 8:30 between Cosby and Cheers spot from the get-go. Because if that was the case, then it was really sort of foolproof. If it was Thursdays. But if it moved around, then they were on their own for a while.
Yeah, and the first season, apparently it was only the 49th rated show, so it wasn't a success out of the gates. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everyone leaves to go see this competition with Steven and Ron. And Elise and Suzanne are kind of left alone. And we discover that there's some trouble in the marriage, not surprisingly. And Suzanne is bored. She has nothing for herself, she feels. No identity.
They're going to college.
Right. And Elise offers her an opportunity to work for her. With her architecture.
What could possibly go wrong with that?
Oh, hiring a friend to work with you?
What could possibly go wrong?
It's going to be total Laverne and Shirley, Corey. It's going to be great.
Sure.
Yeah. It's going to work out great. So she's all excited. And just at the get-go, Suzanne is that friend that you're always reluctant to hang out with because there's so much drama. They're just a downer. This whole episode, she's such a downer about everything.
She is. She's very victim-y to me. Everything is all about her, and it's all about, oh, isn't this terrible? And she seems almost, by the end of the episode, she's relatively strong in a way that I don't really believe that this character would be that strong. I know
it happens fast. It happens fast, buddy.
I know he's trying to make some sort of a feminist point here, and yet it just seems like they're going through the motions of making the feminist point, and it's not really organic to me. But that's my problem with the episode.
My big problem was I don't believe Stephen and Elise would ever be friends with Ron and Suzanne. As chauvinistic as Ron is, and as dramatic and victim-y as Suzanne is, I don't believe they ever would be friends. I think.
And don't you think Steven's a little bit more mellow than to involve himself in the constant pissing contest that he's in with Ron?
Well, I mean, that's what we said from the get-go, is that it was so strange that Steven as a character is always competing with other men, like whether it be his father or Ron that first time, or Alex with other things, and with the chess game. And so, it's not too outlandish. They've definitely built a track for Steven to always have these weird masculine competition things. But I'll say I was doing a lot of reading about second-wave feminism, and I'll make it very brief because I'm hardly an expert.
No. Let's take the time. No.
Expound upon this subject, please.
All I will say is that it was such a big deal coming out of the 70s and all of the changes that second-wave feminism wrought in American culture, and that by the mid-'80s is when it started to peter out. And it's not surprising at all that Gary David Goldberg would want to discuss and have plot lines be based around feminism and women in the workplace and women having agency in their lives and stuff like that. However, just like every other episode of Family Ties, he totally duffs on, to use a golfing term, duffs on saying anything of import or investigating things to the fullest of potential. And it's not like this has to be a diatribe or anything like that, but it's like he makes it especially boring because it's women. It's like the guys who are 23 years old writing a play and being like, I don't know how to write women characters. And that MO seems to be going throughout this entire episode.
Right.
That's probably the result of my general feeling of this episode's failure. What you just said, I think, was putting your finger right on it, that he doesn't really commit to what he's saying.
Yeah.
It feels like it's very superficial, and it's there because that's the point he wanted to make and not for any organic reason. Suzanne doesn't seem like the woman who should be the flag waver for feminism, and yet she is in this episode.
Right. Exactly.
And it undercuts the political message because he makes her a bad proponent of this ideology or this movement.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even more so when you have a character like Elise in the picture too.
Absolutely, because she
Who's
really
more empowered.
would be a lot more effective as a mouthpiece of feminism.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right, so we go to the kitchen and we have two very messy B story plots that they're trying to throw in here. Jennifer is interviewing the family for a school project, which it doesn't go anywhere. She just it's like set up for to have her in the episode, a couple jokes, and also there's this whole issue with carpooling of Steven being annoyed that he has to do the carpool every week.
Yeah. Oh, and I knew something was amiss as soon as this kitchen scene began because Alex is the only one with orange juice. I was like,
I wrote it too.
Yep.
Only person with orange juice is Alex.
Yep.
Congratulations.
None of the women were allowed to have orange juice.
Nope, didn't have enough.
Maybe that was maybe that was a subtle jab. See, in this world, the women can't have orange juice. All right, so Suzanne is coming over for her first day at work. Another bizarre joke. She's all dressed up for work, which the office is the Keaton kitchen.
Right.
And she's so nervous about her first day at work, she brings backup clothes just in case. Which
yeah.
weird.
It's like she's going to get headshots taken. Anyway, that's
Friend,
it. Yeah.
It's out. Yeah. Anyway, so Suzanne is going to be like pretty much a secretary for Elise. Elise gives her a letter that she needs to type up.
Scott, administrative assistant. Holy shit, man.
Sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
My God. I'm sorry, Don
Lord.
Draper. Should I get you your martini?
Oh my Lord!
Yes,
what
please. Please. Administrative assistants.
Yeah, how's your HR job going these days, Scott?
Not good, Corey. Not good.
That's because you're hiring secretaries and not administrative assistants.
Well, I'm also trying to hire some stewardesses. So.
Oh, flight attendants! Oh
no! Elise, we find out Elise is working on this project. She has a client coming over, Dawn, and Dawn comes over. They're starting to look over the blueprints for this, and out of nowhere, Suzanne jumps in with
and
her
so
advice.
Fast. She jumps in pretty damn fast in this.
Yeah.
Too. My head was spinning.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you've been there for 3 minutes. Shut the fuck up, Suzanne. But
And I'd like to point out, we've already established Suzanne has had no college experience or formal education, especially when it comes to being an architect. But suddenly she has some very strong opinions on this house.
And this dude is charmed by her like she's Angelina Jolie. I don't quite get it. It's like, she's not that cute, she's not that attractive, she's not that funny. Why are we all so charmed by this woman? Or wouldn't you be looking at her and saying, hey, I hired Elise Keaton, I didn't hire this woman.
Yeah.
Your
And
And her
administrative.
insights on internal architecture are awful.
Yes.
No,
She
he
doesn't
loves
know
her.
a load-bearing wall from a wall that you could get rid of.
Oh, that's right. There was a post. What is that? Let's get rid of that. What's
Yeah.
it do? Holding up a wall?
Yeah.
And she wants to replace like something with rubber.
Oh,
like
the back
rubber-
deck, right? Doesn't she
Back
want the
deck
back deck to be rubber?
Made of rubber. And the guy loves this. You know what? He deserves
the
the
other
house he
thing-
gets.
Yeah, truly. The other thing about Suzanne is that immediately she starts typing on her typewriter, which for our listeners out there, all the young listeners, that is a computer
Typewriter.
that doesn't have a screen.
Yeah.
I got to tell you,
but no,
I did an improv in my class one day
Okay.
without thinking, and I started the improv like this. I was like doing it, and I was like pushing the carriage back. And I
Oh
was
my
going,
God.
"Ding!" And the kids sat there blank faced, like they had, and it was like, I am so fucking old. I can't even believe it. Why don't I use a phone like this?
From Andy Griffith.
Hello.
Exactly.
Oh, could I get Long Island 468?
My first phone number, I still remember, Overbrook 4 2944.
Oh man.
Operator,
But
who are you
the-
trying to reach?
The thing about the typewriter though is that she's typing one finger at a time.
And real slow.
I just love
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Corey, now being someone who is old enough to use a typewriter,
Yes.
did they teach you how to in keyboarding classes? Like on computers for us, we had like electric typewriters. That's where I fell on that. And in high school, we had keyboarding classes. Did they have keyboarding classes in the 70s, 80s?
Absolutely. I took typing in, I think it was 8th grade. I took typing, and it was just all about learning the keyboard without looking down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Scott, did you? You were in the South, so public education was probably pretty rough.
It was. We just basically had like some hickory nuts that we put letters on. And
Whatever you could fit on the ass of a cow when you brand it. That's what your typing was.
it was a pig, Paul. It was a pig. And so we just lined them up structurally. Unfortunately, the teacher thought that the alphabet should go in the exact order instead of the way it's supposed to be set up on a keyboard, so my typing is all fucked up. I type really slow, like 10 words a minute.
Mm-hmm. That's
That's
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
That'll help you get a good job as a secretary.
Absolutely.
Come on, Scotty, smile for us. Come on.
And wear a shorter skirt, okay?
Yes, Mr. Martin, okay. Thank you, Mr. Packler.
There you go.
Mr.
That's one for my
got it
mom.
twice this time.
As for you. All right. So we cut to the next day. Elise is all upset because she is stressed from working Suzanne. Suzanne is ruining her business. It's
She's
just
making
stressing
more
her.
work for her.
Yeah, she has to correct
the last
everything.
thing you want to do for your boss. You don't want to make more work for your boss. Let them do whatever the hell they want to do and help them. That's it.
Exactly. And so they're getting ready to go out on a big dinner with Ron and Suzanne. Ron and Suzanne come over, and we find out that they've been having a fight. Right?
Certainly.
I was waiting to hear. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry, I'm just the secretary. I'm just
Yeah,
relaying
right.
the notes.
Yeah.
Relaying the notes. Yeah, they've had this huge fight, and it's strange because Ron has decided he just wants to let us, flap his wings, explore the world. He needs space. And Suzanne has had it. She's over this.
By the way, when a man says the things that Ron says, he's having an affair.
Yes! Yeah.
That's
I
what's
couldn't
crazy.
believe that they didn't go. I mean, I know they were probably trying not to go in a stereotypical direction, but he was saying the things that a guy says to his wife or girlfriend when he's having an affair, when there's a third person involved.
Right. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't
They
know
should
why.
have
Like,
just done that.
the one thing is that like they break, so they're about to break up. He's about to walk out the door, and then the rest of the episode takes place over the course of, I would say, about 2 more weeks. And then at the end of the episode, spoiler alert, he comes back. But it's like, why does he walk out, first of all, and then why does he come back so quickly? It's just, there's no motivation for
no explanation at all. Thought the same thing.
Yeah, if you put the affair in there, it's because his girlfriend dumped him, and there you go. Bada bang, bada boom. Yeah.
Immediately, we're more interested, but it's just the weirdest thing not to cover.
Right. I do love how Jay Tarsis plays this. Like, Ron has no... he's so delusional about what he says and what he does that it's brilliant.
Oh, he so doesn't give a shit. That's why it's so brilliant.
He doesn't give a shit. I know.
I sort of felt as though they were more concerned with motivation for the Elise and Suzanne storyline and finding a reason to... she needs to be fired. Now she can't be fired. Then eventually she is fired. I feel like they were trying to motivate that more than they were motivating they're together as a couple, they break up as a couple. The Ron and Suzanne isn't as motivated as Elise and Suzanne is.
Right.
It just sort of feels as though they were really trying to find everything honest in that employee-employer relationship between friends than between a husband and wife who are breaking up, where it just doesn't really ring true.
Right.
Totally. But my thing is, it's not a zero-sum game. You can do both. And in fact, it would be more interesting if, she doesn't want to fire her, and at the same time she's having this terrible self-identity and self-esteem crisis of, I'm 40 years old, as she mentions, and my husband loves a younger woman. Like, what does that say about her as a person, and this and that? And, we're already talking about her youth. She has a sweater from when 1962 and all this stuff, and it's just like, you can have the boss worker dynamic and the relationship with the husband dynamic. But it's like they pick one, half-ass their way through the other, and then half-ass their way through the first one, too.
Right. Right. So, Elise had this talk with Alex about, okay, tonight's the night, I'm going to fire Suzanne, I'm going to do it. And, of course, Alex is totally on board with this because it's a business decision. You got to do it. And, of course, now with this big fight and Ron leaving Suzanne, she can't do it because Suzanne even says, without this job, I don't know what I would be doing.
Oh, thank God I've got this job. How do you fire somebody after that?
Alex would.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's the next day, and Suzanne is coming to work. This was, again, strange to me. She brings a whole basket filled with all the stuff she needs for her desk, including a goldfish bowl and a nameplate.
And goldfish food.
And goldfish food. She feeds the fish angrily.
Yeah. She even brought goldfish orange juice, which I thought was crazy. But
that was a little nuts. But in the Keaton household, that fits.
Yeah.
That fits. It's making it work. Yeah.
By the way, just prior to Suzanne arriving in this first scene in the kitchen, there was a phone call. And with that phone call, I called Guinness. It is the world record for the most phone calls in the first season of a sitcom. Right there, they reached that point. Congratulations,
Bam!
Family Ties.
You did it, Family Ties.
Most phone calls ever in the first season of a sitcom.
89% of dialogue on Family Ties is over the phone.
It's one-sided.
It's one-sided. With people you probably will never ever see. Their characters are never established or come over.
In the next episode, they establish that their only phone, too. They only have one line. They have
Which is bullshit.
Which is
That's
bullshit. Yes.
Because in the season finale, which I've already watched, they have 2 lines.
Yes.
They lied right before they changed it. They said, nah, they got to have more than one line. We need that phone too badly for plot purposes.
How could they possibly have only one line when the stories are so involved with the phone? You're not going to get anything done. Nothing.
No, the other thing about the phone, it leads to a question, almost, I would say, philosophical in nature. Is it worse to have a conversation with a person you'll never see and never meet, or to have a conversation with a person that you'll see and meet but never see again?
That's a good question. I think
they
it's
have best
cheaper
friends.
Never to meet them. If you're a producer, you go through that script and you go, do we really need to meet this person? Come on, we don't need to cast this person. Just have her talk to them online.
Yeah, it's more money. Yeah, we'll bring him back over the phone every now and then, but we're never going to see him. Yeah.
As you can see, Corey subscribes to the Machiavellian school of casting. Just the real politics.
Why do it?
Dollars and cents, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, but it comes out that Suzanne is so frustrated, and she, with everything happening with her, it's the first time, as victim-y as she has been sounding this whole time, she says she doesn't want to be treated like a victim and just wants to be treated normally. And Elise loves this because now she has the perfect opportunity to say, Suzanne, you're fired.
And with that, let's get to a break.
Ba-ba-bam.
We'll be right back. And we're back. So does Suzanne go postal and kill everyone in the Keaton household? We're about to find out.
I know.
I actually thought Elise was going to kill Suzanne at one point during that first scene. That every time Suzanne when she found out she made changes, there was a second story to the house, and now there's a non-second story to the house. I thought Elise was going to kill her at some point. It was like, oh my God, just kill her.
Oh yeah.
There was a fury in Meredith Baxter's eyes. You could see that there was some fire there.
Yeah, she was. I gotta say, I watched this episode with my mom because she's in town right now, and my mom if it's been on Oprah or any gossip rag, she loves hearing stuff like this. And she was telling me when they had a Family Ties reunion on some show, it came out that Meredith Baxter Birney she was kind of having a rough time in her marriage. She was in a very abusive relationship, and she would be drinking in between scenes, and they were really worried about her. And part of that, it shows the chemistry between her and Michael Gross because Michael Gross was the one she kind of confided in and actually would crash at his place because the relationship was so bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
She could have crashed at my place. I would have let her.
If only she had known, Corey. If only she had
She's
known.
awfully cute.
Yep.
She hasn't turned into Ellen DeGeneres yet.
Was there a point where you thought Ellen DeGeneres was cute, Corey?
I did, actually. I did.
Oh, okay.
I did think Ellen DeGeneres was cute at some point. A little butch, but cute.
Oh, they're cute.
I remember staying up late watching comedy specials on HBO back when on New Year's Eve after midnight.
When they had the young comedians specials.
Just going until 5 a.m. And I stayed up all night watching them one time. And my favorite one was Ellen's. I remember...
she has a great special.
Hers were so good. But yeah, that was just a little Ellen DeGeneres story.
So we're back at the next day after Lisa's fired Suzanne. And... Suzanne is Lisa's bummed, of course. She feels horrible, about what she's done. Jennifer offers to play the blues to Elise upstairs.
Right. Some blues records.
I really want to go back and list all the characteristics that we've given Jennifer just to see how they don't match up to anything.
Yeah. For half a second, I was.
Go ahead, Paul.
What did you say, Corey?
I got so frustrated with Jennifer during this scene that I don't know what it's in reference to, but I wrote down Jennifer simply has too many quips in this scene. They just went to her. They go to her so often as their go-to guy to give her something funny to say, to top a joke, to do a joke on top of what. It's just, I don't know. She was just, I found her so irritating.
Yeah, and with losing Michael J. Fox in this episode, why didn't they give that to him? Give Michael J. Fox the quips because he's better at it. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. I wrote down. Did Tina Yother's mother complain to the producers for this episode? Because they used Jennifer so much. I feel like the mother went and highlighted all of her lines and all of Mallory's and all of Alex's and said, "This is the 4th episode in a row that Tina has less lines than Mike and Justine. Let's do something about this, writers."
Oh man, I
That's exactly what Tina Yother's mother sounds like, by the way.
I
You
can't
didn't know
wait
that
to.
is my best impersonation.
And that's a great
That's
one.
amazing.
Mrs.
I can't wait to
Yothers.
follow the travails of Mrs. Yothers for the rest of this series.
I
I
will
would-
speak as her once a week for those of you listening.
I like it.
She oddly enough sounds just like Charles Nelson Riley for you children out there.
Yes.
He does. He does.
Wait. I met him once. Can I tell you a story? I met him once. I did this like acting masterclass when I was like 13, and it was at the Civic Light Opera acting school. And he came in and was teaching people like scene study and doing scenes from like Bye Bye Birdie and stuff. And I'm so bored sitting there watching everyone do this that I start coloring on the back of my notebook. And I'm sitting in like the front row, and Charles Nelson Riley goes, "Oh, this kid's writing a letter to his grandmother."
Wow,
yeah.
you got ranked out by Charles Nelson Riley?
You got put on blast by Charles Nelson Riley. Wow. Wow.
It was
He
great.
was a very
It was really
well-respected director late in his life. Did a lot of
Yeah.
Shakespeare classes and other stuff. Totally legit guy.
great. Yeah.
So Suzanne comes over and, kind of guilt trips Elise. She says she respects her for, I respect what you did, even though it was a horrible thing to do, but I still respect you. It's kind of this back and forth, passive-aggressive guilt trip. And
Right.
out of nowhere, Ron comes over. I guess he's like stalking Suzanne now.
Yeah, he's following her.
Yeah. And basically says that, hey, Suzanne, it's your lucky day. I'm taking you back.
Here you go. Snap my fingers. We're back together. We're a couple again.
Ba-ba-bam. Yeah.
And he's so charming, he almost had me. I was almost like, you know what?
I'll go back to you, Ron. I'll go back to you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah. So for the first time probably in her life, Suzanne stands up to Ron, says that, I'm not going to take you back. It's been going on for too long, and I'm going to find myself. And Ron kind of takes it in, and there's this...
He takes it quite well.
Very well. Like,
this scene was this was the most civil breakup
Ever.
together and rejection I've ever seen. They were so oh, you don't want to get back together? Our marriage really is over? Oh, you think it's a sham? Okay, talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yep.
It was amazing. That was like line readings right there of the actual scene. And the thing that's funny is this has happened over the course of a month. Like, I was doing the timeline while listening because I was like, oh, this scene happens 2 weeks after this and 2 weeks after that. So altogether, it's like a month. And they never saw each other. Like, he was living with her for 20 years. Didn't he come home to get his stuff? Like, how did they not talk about logistics? None of this happened. And then he just comes in and is like, I just happened to find you, and we're back together. And then she's like, no, we're not. And then he's like, all right, I'm just going to go back off stage again. It's just so odd.
Yeah. It's so there's this so Suzanne and there's this kind of weird moment where Ron is like, you know what, you standing up for yourself is kind of sexy. You're really attractive doing it, and then walks.
And he's like, I'll bring you my laundry on Friday.
I'll bring you my laundry on Saturday. O.J. Tarsus. And then we cut to like several weeks later. Suzanne is in Greece, communicating through the people with dance.
With Nicholas.
With Nicholas.
Yeah. She talks about the Greeks, she calls them natives. Greeks? You mean the people of Greece?
Yeah.
The natives.
The natives.
Yeah. Like it's some tribal country.
Right. Not the ones that invented democracy. You're right.
I was going to say, they've been around way longer than everybody else, but they're natives.
Yep.
Right.
It's a very eat, pray, love kind of situation.
And I'll say it's indicative of problems that the second wave feminism had, was its problem with women of color. So, there's some...
Tying it all together with your research on feminism.
Yes. But they end the episode on a really cute joke, is that on the back of the postcard that she sent Stephen and Elise is the Acropolis, and she penciled in a second floor on the Acropolis.
Yes, I thought that was actually quite cute. It may have been my favorite joke in the episode.
It was good. It was good. It was really good. Well, guys, I think that sums it up. Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah. Not barely an episode.
Barely an episode. No B story. Everyone hated with the carpool. We never got much more to that.
Never got more out of golfing? Nope.
Never got more out of golfing. Never had anything else to do with the interview with the family. Nope. There you go. Well, be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. And for questions and comments, email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at QTWFT for updates. You can also follow each of us. I'm at Follow Jones.
I'm at Paul Packler.
And I'm at Corpep.
And be sure to like us on Facebook. We'd like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanboy Comics. Fanboy Comics is an online conglomerate of geek media providing its readers with daily reviews, interviews, and podcasts that span the pop culture spectrum. Be sure to check them out at fanboycomics.net. We also like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs the Family Ties theme song Without Us. Check out Perry's website at perryadams.com. And we also like to thank Brian Dillon, who created our fantastic drawing and artwork, as well as edits our show. Brian is the president and co-founder of Fanboy Comics. Follow him on Twitter at Comic Book Slayer. And lastly, also Sean Foster, Fanboy Comics graphic designer, for designing our logo. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye, Mr. Packler.
Bye, Mr. Packler.
Bye, Mr. Pepper. Goodbye, John Boy.